Tonight, you're about to watch a hearing that didn't just expose incompetence, it tore the mask off a system rotting from the inside out. This was not a tough day at the Office for Homeland Security. This was a full-blown reckoning over detention deaths, blocked oversight, ignored court orders, and a government apparatus accused of treating human lives like political props. And when Jasmine Crockett started pressing for answers, you could almost see the panic set in. The nervous dodging, the defensive scrambling, the desperate effort to cover up decisions that look cruel, lawless, and completely out of control. Because when lawmakers start asking why people are dying, why Congress is being obstructed, and why the law only seems to matter when it protects the powerful, somebody in that room should be terrified. And Jasmine Crockett came armed with the kind of questions that turn polished talking points into pure damage control. Stay with me, because in this next clip, Crockett is about to reveal details that are shocking, damning, and impossible to ignore. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it.
Twitter's November 27, 2025, UC request. Officials criticized Biden vetting, but Afghan shooting suspect was granted asylum under Trump. And then September 29, 2025, Courthouse News, state sued DHS again over cuts to anti-terrorism grants for blue states.
Without objection, the gentlelady from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. And Madam Secretary, you are almost to the end, so congratulations. I just have a couple of questions. Are you aware that the law that was written by this Congress makes it clear that members of Congress are allowed to, entitled to, enter any detention?
Representative Crockett, I apologize. I have to run to vote in another committee, Secretary, and Mr. Schmidt will chair, and you will get extra 15 seconds, but I apologize for that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for your
Mr. Chairman.
testimony.
Appreciate it.
Are you aware that the law makes it clear that members of Congress are allowed to enter any detention facility at any point in time in which they choose to?
Yes, I'm aware of the visitation and oversight responsibility, and we work every day to try to accommodate members of Congress while taking into account the safety of those individuals that are being detained there.
Let me be clear. At any time, correct?
Yes, I understand there's litigation in this area.
No, that's not my question. I'm not asking you about litigation.
No.
I'm asking you what the law is, because let me put it to you this way.
There's an appropriations rider that talks about
correct,
oversight.
and appropriations are law, because you are asking us to
Correct.
appropriate dollars right now for DHS, correct?
Correct.
And if we do that, you would take that as law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that is what the law states, yet somehow, myself and another colleague, Congressman Castro, we ended up giving a 7-day notice to the Dilley detention facility because I had actually already gone to El Paso before. And when I went to that facility and I asked them why it was that they were requiring me to do something that specifically my branch of government had dictated was not required, they said it was because of you. They said you were the one that said that they were not allowed to allow us entry unless we gave a 7 days heads up. Is that true?
Yeah. The law specifically states oversight and visitations, and we are working to facilitate those, and we're at that time working
Did you give the instruction that members must give a 7 days heads up or not?
We had a policy in place that allowed us to get the staff
Were you
there
the
to
one that ordered that
facilitate.
policy?
I have a responsibility for ensuring everybody in that facility is going to be safe, and that I have adequate
no, but that's not
staff
my question, because
to
the
conduct
problem,
a tour
let me tell you why we need
and oversight at the same
to
time.
reclaiming my time. The reason that I'm talking to you about this policy and you're talking to me about safety is because I did go into the Dilley detention facility. And let me tell you, they're not safe. This is why we need to conduct oversight, because your people continue. In fact, you have lost more lives in detention than anybody else. That is your record right now. So I don't expect that y'all are going to be the ones that are going to be best to keep them safe. This is why we are supposed to conduct oversight and not wait for you to give permission. In fact, after I left the Dilley facility, we were informed of a measles outbreak that was taking place in that facility. And another question I have, are you the one that ordered it to be reopened, because that facility was closed under Joe Biden?
Those facilities were opened with the new administration. I'd have to look
Okay,
and
you're
see
part
if
of the
that
new
was-
administration. Were you the one that ordered it to be open is my question.
I would have to see when it was opened because I wasn't sworn in until 5 days after
Okay,
the
well, this
president
was, it
in
was
office.
reopened in
So
March.
I would have to look at when.
It was reopened in March of last year.
Well, then I'm sure that that contract would have been renewed while I was secretary.
Speaking of contracts, as I have, actually, you know what, let me continue on this line of y'all breaking the law. Are you familiar with a child by the name of Liam Ramos?
I am.
All right, so Liam was at this Dilley facility, and it just so happened that we had put in our 7 days notice, and y'all had grabbed him 6 days prior to our visit. So we were able to go and visit Liam. Are you aware of the court order that came down that released Liam from custody?
I am.
And are you aware that the judge said the case has its genesis in an ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children? This court and others regularly send undocumented people to prison and orders them deported, but do so by proper legal procedures. Are you aware of that?
Yes, and I would disagree with the judge on several
I'm
points
sure you would,
in
but can you
there.
tell me whether or not
That
you have a
father-
law degree?
Father chose to.
Can you tell me whether or not you have a law degree?
If I have what?
A law degree.
No, I do not have a law
Okay,
degree.
and you do understand, because I can go through a bunch of court cases and orders that I disagree with from the Supreme Court, that ultimately, that is the order of the court. That is what you follow, and if you have an issue, you appeal it up, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. The court went on to say, apparent also is the government's ignorance of an American historical document called the Declaration of Independence. 33-year-old Thomas Jefferson enumerated grievances against a would-be authoritarian king over his nascent nation. Among others were, he has sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people. He has excited domestic insurrection among us, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us. He has kept us among, in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. Are you aware that he wrote that? Do you know that he was writing about ICE that falls under you?
The judge?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. With that, I will yield, but I do have 2 UCs. The first UC is ICE training with slashed records show corroborating whistleblower claims from the Washington Post on yesterday.
Without objection.
The second one is FEMA's response to Texas flood slowed by Noem's cost controls. This is out of CNN from July 10th of 2025.
Without objection.
Thank you so much.
I would ask unanimous consent to put in the record a document from DHS.gov titled Illegal Alien with More Than 30 Prior Arrests Fatally Stabs Woman at Virginia Bus Stop. ICE requests Virginia authorities not release this public safety threat. Without objection. Is this a single one or is this multiple? Single. Okay. And also would ask unanimous.
What you saw here was not just another ugly hearing moment. It was a public indictment of a system that has become arrogant, reckless, and morally hollow. Jasmine Crockett did what too many people in Washington are too timid to do. She forced the excuses to collapse in real time, and she dragged the rot into the light. Because let's be honest, when a government agency is accused of blocking Congress, ignoring court orders, hiding behind scripted nonsense, and presiding over detention deaths while pretending everything is under control, that is not leadership. That is failure dressed up in official language. That is what institutional cruelty looks like when it thinks nobody will challenge it. And the most infuriating part is that they always expect the public to look away, to get numb, to accept the spin, to swallow the lies, and to move on while human beings suffer behind closed doors. But that is exactly why moments like this matter. This is what accountability looks like when somebody finally stops playing nice with power. This is what happens when the talking points run out and the truth starts cornering the people responsible. So no, this was not politics as usual. This was a warning flare about what happens when government agencies become untouchable, untruthful, and completely detached from the consequences of their own decisions. If you're tired of the cover-ups, tired of the propaganda, and tired of watching powerful officials act like the rules are only for everyone else, then do not just click away. Push this video out. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment, because the louder this conversation gets, the harder it becomes for these people to hide behind their titles, their spin, and their excuses.